everybody, and welcome to another episode of A Father's Note, where we promote fatherhood through building men. As always, we're so happy that you took the time out of your busy schedule to spend the evening with us. I am your host, none other than the very own Lionel Nelson. I just want to just say, let me say this right now because I don't know if I would be back on before Christmas. I hope to. But Merry Christmas to everybody. We hope that you are having a wonderful holiday season. And let's bring, this most important thing, let's put Christ back into the season, right? Yeah, I give myself a own clap for that, man. Yes, yes. And don't get caught up in the saying happy holiday, happy holiday, happy holiday. Why don't you just say Merry Christmas, right? Let's do that there. All right, but hey, and again, we thank all of you so much for being with us. We do want to know, some of you may know, some of you may not know that we are officially an author right now. We have our new book out entitled Learning the Man Within. And if you want to get this book, okay, you can go to our website. Let's see. Right there. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. www.fathersnote.com, and you can get the book there. So, hey, I'm going to leave it up there a little bit for you guys. Yes, let's do that there, okay? And okay, so you know about the book. I want to throw a little plug out there for that. And you got the website. There is a book signing will be coming soon. We'll definitely keep you updated with that. All right. Tonight, what we're going to be doing. Oh yeah, there's more surprises coming for you too, right? We're doing some great things behind the scenes just to promote the Father's Note, promote what we're doing here. Let me say this here real quick because I don't want to take too much time away from our guest. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I really am, because I know where this man came from. I know all too well. But listen, while you're there, also listen, reach out to somebody, tell them to tag somebody, share. Reach out, let everybody know we are on tonight and that we have a great interview that's going to be happening for you. And yes, again, we got some great things that's happening behind the scene. And look, again, let me reiterate why we do what we do. I made this comment maybe last week or sometime, or even on our last show, that we got a lot of men out here that are hurting, right? And we think that just because we see the masculine side of men, just because we see men that go around portraying themselves as being macho, that they got it all together. But I'm here to tell you, no, they don't. The majority of men out there, I don't even want to put a percentage on it, but a lot of brothers out here are struggling. They need help. And what we do here at the Father's Note is to encourage other men. Listen, regardless of your background, regardless of where you came from, regardless of whether you grew up with a father, without a father, you can still make it. You can yet succeed in life. Only thing you can't do is, just like tonight's topic, never stop believing. Don't ever give up on yourself. You got to continue to pursue your dreams no matter what life throws at you. You can win. Just as I stated, who would ever think that I myself, yours truly, the one and only, will be an author at the age of 64? But I'm glad about it. I am glad about it. Listen, it didn't happen when I was 24. It didn't happen when I was 34, 44, 54. No, it happened when I was 64. But guess what? I did it. Why? I had my mind made up. I'm going to press on. I'm going to make this thing happen. We're going to pursue. And guess what? You can too. No matter what your dream is, it's never too late. As long as you keep getting up in the morning and you have breath in your body and you can see the sunshine, hey, listen, that's another opportunity for you to get right what you been getting wrong for so long, and continue to pursue your dreams and achieve your dreams, right? Oh, yes, I give myself an own hand clap on that, yeah. All right, let's get into this here, all right? My guest tonight is no stranger to the show, of course, all right? However, since his last guest appearance, I can say much has changed in his life, right? And he's a young man who has went through, much turmoil and hardship to reach the status of a master chef, a restaurant owner, and now an author of the book entitled Y'all Have No Idea, Cookbook and Memoir by Gerard Welcher. Listen, I am so happy for this young man. I am so happy for what he has accomplished in his life. Now, he's younger than me and he's doing big things. So can you imagine where he's going to be at when he get my age? Hey, I hope I'll be still breaking bread with him at least, right? But without any further ado, we're going to bring on our guest, none other than the very own master chef, author Gerard Welcher.
What's up?
Oh, hey, that's it, baby. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. But before we start talking about me, I want to give you your kudos. So congratulations on being an awesome husband, a mentor for me, and now an author. So kudos to you. And I don't know if people out there know, but we family. You my uncle, and I love you and I appreciate you, man.
Hey, love you as well, man. It's been great. It has been great. Hey, so let's get right into the questions, man. First of all, I want to play a clip from our very first interview.
Ooh.
Are you yeah.
That's what you gonna do? That's how we can do it?
That's what I'm gonna do, man. That's what we can do. Hey, let me
all
drop
right,
it right now.
I gotta brace myself. All right, go ahead.
Here we go. Yeah.
You did a Facebook story about how you went from cooking in your kitchen to technically you've become a master chef right now, and I'm master chef in a couple of 5-star restaurants. How about share with us what that journey was like? Once you have completed your culinary school, okay, so then what happened next?
Man, culinary school. All right, I was already in the business, like in the restaurant field as a young man before I went to culinary school. But I wanted to be taken seriously, so that degree helps on resumes.
Right.
To get you elevated to the higher level position. I always aspire to want more, even now today. But right out of culinary school, I was managing at the Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Miami. I worked there for 10 years. But it was like a gradual excel, from the Hard Rock to the Cheesecake Factory, from the Cheesecake Factory to the Landry's, which is a whole umbrella of restaurants. And once I moved from Miami to Nashville, is where I live now.
Right.
That's when my career kind of exploded, and I bought that Miami flavor to Nashville. I ain't know how to act, man. I bought that 305 up there. That's what we started going for me. But the journey, like I said in the post, sometimes it could be lonely because people don't understand your vision. They think you should be satisfied with where you are.
Right.
Whatever level that is, And I always wanted to aspire to have more. So that calls to be an Uncle Tom sometimes to my my homeboys, or it was hard, it was lonely, but I just wanted more, so I just kept striving.
You ever so did you ever get discouraged? Was there ever time?
Ooh,
that was just a little snippet, man.
That was about a year ago, right?
A little snippet, man. Hey, I'll say about 2 years
about
at least.
2 years ago.
At least 2 years. Yeah, I think it was 21 when we did that.
Wow.
I think it was 21, man.
Wow.
So tell us, tell the audience, how much of your life has changed since this last interview? What, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? How much has your life changed, bro?
Man, it's a whole nother. It did a whole. They say 360, but if you do a 360, you come right back to where you was.
Right.
So it did a whole 180. Like everything's changed. My responsibilities changed. My goals have changed. My aspirations have changed. My day-to-day process on how I maneuver changed. Things have gotten better with my kids and their mom. That's changed. The co-parenting. Like, man, I tell you, it's like God was like, now you're ready. And then he snapped his finger, and then it all changed, So
man,
I'm just so grateful, man. I just wake up every morning and grateful and love what God has done for me.
So for those who don't know, Can you give us, let's say, within, a short synopsis of where you came from to where you are right now? Because right now you're a business owner. You own your own restaurant entitled the Butterfly Garden.
Yes, sir.
The Butterfly Garden, I think, was events and something else, catering, right?
Brunch and events.
Brunch
Yes.
and events, right. Okay, but give the audience a short synopsis of where you came from to where you are today.
Short synopsis. Okay, I'm gonna try to do that. So as a young kid, I must have been like 5 or 6, 7 years old. My mom and dad was heavily addicted to drugs. Crack is what I know they were addicted to. I don't know about any other drugs. And that caused us to live in poverty. And it wasn't that my dad didn't make the money. It was that every dime he had went to support the drug habit. So that caused us to not have electricity in the house, not have running water in the house, not have food in the house. And we lived like that through most of my childhood. As I got older, I went to live with different family members. But, that was a struggle in itself because my family members had their families or had raised their kids already and then was trying to do it all again, trying to take care of us, and that was a burden on them. So it wasn't easy for them, and
Right.
it wasn't easy for me. So I went from pretty much, living in a crack house, and then there were some things that I had to do to survive, because that was my environment. So there was drugs that I had to sell. I've snatched purses. I've stole. Like I did what I had to do to put some food on the table. But once I
So
realized that there was a better way, I started pursuing that way. Once I saw that I had a talent for cooking, someone actually else saw the talent in me. They kind of like pulled me toward them and was like, "Hey, you don't need to do that. Let's try to get you here, and from here,
right.
let's see where it can go." And someone took me under their wing. And even though I was in the restaurants, I still dibbed and dabbed a little bit
Right.
in that other life. But
Mm-hmm.
once I started getting good at what I did, I started getting promoted, and I just totally left that life on its own. Now it wasn't easy because everything and everybody that I knew was attached to that, so it was hard to
Wow.
break away from that.
Wow.
So
Wow. So you still had that old ways, that whole mentality, that what you were struggling with, constantly pulling at you, even though you were striving to break away from it.
yes, and then there was sometimes that I would like fall back into it and not even realize that I was falling back into it.
And then when those times came, what was your saving grace?
Man, like I learned to hear God's voice at a very young age, and
Wow.
I was never. Once I realized that the way that I should be going was my way, like I didn't really want to do it. It was just doing it because of my associations with people, or I didn't want to disappoint someone else, and I was putting my life on the line trying to, you know, you know, not disappoint someone else. But once I got selfish, and it is good to be selfish sometimes, especially in this predicament, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no matter what, I'm not doing that no more. But it was God's voice. He would tell me, this is not right. And, you get that earning, you get that feeling in your gut, like there's no way you should be doing this. Like I bought you from that. Why would you go back to that? So that's what saved me a lot. And I'm talking about it was instances at the very last second I was about to do something critical to my life. At the very
Mm-hmm.
last second, I would back out. Like I would get to the place where I was about to do something, and then
Right.
I would back out. And that was just God right there.
So let me ask you this: if you care to share, who was your guardian angel, bro? Who was that someone that saw the gifting in you
Wow.
and decide, you know what, and made a decision to steer you in a different way other than that what you had been exposed to?
Wow. So it was a Hispanic man. His name is Carlos Monterosa. He was the chef at the Hard Rock Cafe. And yeah, it was him. He used to tell me, that, you know, there's a better life, and with this cooking thing, you can go to so many places. He was from L.A., Los Angeles, and he was in Miami at the Hard Rock Cafe. But he told me he had been to other places. He was like, with this cooking career, like, you can go where you want to go. You can, you know, work where you want to work. Like, it's totally up to you. It's funny that he used to tell me, like, but if you want to learn, you have to come in and learn on your own time. And I think I said this in the last interview. I used to go in at 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. learning all the intricacies of being a chef, the numbers, the inventory, the ordering, all that stuff. He used to teach me from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. I used to do all the inventory. I used to do the truck orders. I was learning how to do numbers and percentages and food costs. And then at 9 a.m., when everybody else came to work, I clocked in and I was just doing my regular, you know, line cook stuff. And I did that for a couple years. And then he ended up having to leave the restaurant. And the general manager told him that we needed to find a replacement. And he was like, no, you don't. Gerard's been coming in for the last couple of years on his own time. For the last 6 months, I haven't done a thing. He's been doing it all. Like, we didn't tell you because it wasn't necessary to tell you, but he knows everything. And that's how I got promoted to my first management job. But it came full circle. So when I opened the Butterfly Garden, I had Carlos flew in to help me with the grand opening of the restaurant. It was so emotional. It was
Come on, man. Really?
Yes, he was there at the restaurant. Yes.
Wow.
He stayed 3 days. He came to my birthday party. He worked in the kitchen with me. It was so surreal. Like, I cried like a baby all weekend.
I'm sure you did. So it's one thing that I saw that I heard you say and that you had to do. Okay, so he gave you an opportunity.
Correct.
But you still, two things you had to do. You had to make the decision whether or not to take him up on his opportunity. And number two, you had to have a pursuit.
Yes. Yes. And that was crazy because 5 a.m. to be somewhere at 5 a.m. and not getting paid for it, like, you gotta be out of your mind to do something like that. And then I was with my kids, my kids' mom, and she was like, this paycheck ain't adding up to my hours. I said, it will one day. It will one day. So.
Right. So at what age was this? At what age was this?
I was 18, 19 at that point, somewhere up in there. I was, when I got promoted to kitchen manager, I was the youngest in the company. I was 20, I think, when I got promoted.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So here it is. Opportunity was given to you. And you had an opportunity. You had an opportunity to either choose and pursue, take a path that you really did not have any information for, or any knowledge of, or either you could have choose to stay where you was at, that which you was familiar with.
Right.
But you made at a teenager, you decided, you know what? Let me try something new because I already know what the outcome of this is and where it can lead me. Along with that, you're hearing the voice of God, as you said.
Yes. And man, I think that was a hard decision because remember, you know, I got my peers at the restaurant and I'm working with them every day. And once they got wind I was coming in, you know, you hear that, man, you stupid. I wouldn't be coming in and doing all that for the white man. And like, I got that all day, every day, you know. So definitely hard. But I stuck with my guns and I didn't know why then. I just wanted to do it. But I'm older now. I understand that was God, you know, I got you, son, you know,
So all this journey, this all the journey that you have been traveling right now. How long it's been now? Maybe 20 years, 20.
Yeah, about 26 years.
26 years, right?
Yes.
So what would you say if you had to wrap it all up? We know you got the book. We're going to talk about the book in a minute. But what would you say if you had to wrap it all up? It's the one significant lesson that you yourself had learned through this process.
Man, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and all thy ways acknowledge him. Lean not on your own understanding, because it's the faith. Like, my faith is like retarded crazy. Like, you have to believe in yourself when your mama don't believe in you. And not saying that my mama don't. I'm just being extreme. When your daddy, when the pastor, when your girlfriend, your wife, when everybody else saying no, and you know this is what it is you're supposed to be doing, you have to believe in yourself and trust God. That's my best advice I can give. Because if you don't believe in yourself, there's people who want the best for you, that want to protect you from being hurt. So when you tell them you have this crazy dream, they don't want you to get hurt. So they're gonna be like, I don't know, what if you just do this instead? And then you got the people who don't want you to succeed, who gonna say, nah, you shouldn't do that, because they don't want you to do better than them. So you got to protect your dream and trust God and believe in yourself.
So here it is, you master chef. I've seen you post several videos of events in which that you have been on. I see you always being advertised in the news, with the news station, whatever that is, just doing your little cooking. But now, how did butterfly garden come about? Give us a rundown on that, man.
That is a great question. So I met a young lady that knew of a young lady who wanted to open a restaurant. So she reached out to me. We met, and I met with her friend who wanted to open the restaurant. And what was crazy was I was doing pop-up. You came to one of them. I was doing pop-up brunches like monthly here in Nashville. And I knew that I was going to open the restaurant. I just didn't know how God was going to work it out. But that ain't my business, right? My business is...
your faith was in play. Your faith was in play, huh?
Right. So God put me in contact with these two young ladies, and we decided to go into business together. It happened like this. We met like 15, 20 times. We found the building. They found the building. We went to go look at the building, and we was like, are we gonna do this? And we all agreed we was gonna do this. We did not really know each other. That's how you know it was a God thing. And boom, there's Butterfly Garden Brunch and Events. That's it in a quick synopsis right there.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that. It was 1 week I'm cooking for someone. I was a personal chef for someone and catering. And then a couple weeks later, I have keys to a restaurant. And here's the crazy part. So I was talking to my oldest brother, Robert, who you know very well. And I was telling them, I was like, man, like, I know I'm getting ready to open a restaurant. I just don't know how it's gonna work. And he was like, did you buy the equipment yet? I was like, nah, what am I buy the equipment for? He was like, if you believe you're gonna buy a restaurant, you need to go buy the equipment. I tell you no lie. I went and searched and looked at how much everything was and wrote it down. I was like, man, if I buy all this, I ain't gonna have nothing. So when I met with the ladies, I bought the equipment, and it's all in the restaurant right now. So that was another fake thing, like, you know, like,
so all you had was a dream, a desire, but as far as the resources, you really did not have the resources in order to do it. You just knew that it was going to happen.
I knew it was going to happen. Like I'm not gonna say I didn't have the resources, because our father is rich, right? So
yeah, I know where you're going. Okay, bro. Okay,
but I don't need resources, because he's the source.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, you got me preaching now.
You got me on that one, man. Let me back up a little bit, man.
Yeah. So he's the source. So he told me he had me, and
wow.
Now I had some money put up, and everything that I had, every penny, went to that. So
wow. So how's it going? Everything going pretty good?
Man, I can't explain on how blessed I am to
Right.
be able to. And man, I'm getting emotional now because I wake up in the morning. Well, let's rewind a little bit. So before I had Butterfly Garden, I also have a catering company called Kingdom Cuisine, and I still have
Mhm.
that. But I was
Okay.
cooking out of my house every day, and sometimes I would be cooking for 3, 4, 500 people on a 4-burner stove and an
Wow.
oven, and it will require me to have to spend every day, almost every hour cooking, sleeping in between beeps from the timer on the stove. So for me to get up in the morning and drive to the restaurant, and what used to take me 22 hours to cook for
Right.
200 people, I can
Right.
do it in 2 or 3 hours. Like I'm driving to work smiling. I'm driving to the restaurant smiling every day. Every day I pull up,
Right. Right.
every day I walk, I put the key in, I set the alarm off. I just
Come
stand
on.
around and
Come
I
on.
look around. I'm like, God, this
Come
is
on.
amazing. It's
Man.
amazing. It's amazing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So how did the book come about? What before you answer that question, we did get a question from one of the viewers. They said, why did you take your gifts and talents to Nashville and not do it here in your hometown?
Man, see, now they're asking me a question that God sent me to Nashville.
Okay.
So um I was poached. I was working for the Cheesecake Factory in Miami, and I got a
Hmm.
call from someone who wanted or was asking me if I wanted to work for their company. I didn't know anything about their company, and I was really, really happy with the Cheesecake Factory. There was no reason for me to leave, but
Hmm.
I listened to what they had to say, and they made me an offer I could not refuse. They paid for my move. They gave me freedom, and what got me the most is I'm very creative. And with
Hmm.
the Cheesecake Factory, I was only able to do the recipes that they had, but I
Right.
always wanted to create. And what made me really leave Miami to move to Nashville, there's a seafood restaurant here that
Hmm.
I was able to create my own menus and do what I want to do as the executive chef. So I packed up and left. And in my mind, I was like, if it don't work out, I can come back.
Always come back, huh?
I guess it
Yeah.
worked out because I'm still here. I'm still
Right.
in Nashville. But that was a good question.
Yeah. So how long you been in Nashville now?
My daughter is 12, so 12 years. I
12 years.
left Miami when she was like 3 months, 4 months. So
That's a big
I'm,
move, man. We gonna get into that about fatherhood and doing what you're doing, but let's talk about the book. What
yes, sir.
what the book about?
So
What?
the book is in the back of the book. There's recipes because I want to give y'all something, but I
Okay.
also wanted the people to know my story. I've always wanted to write a book. No, I'm saying like since I've been, in my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I look back, I'm thinking, and excuse my language, how the hell did I withstand all that? Like, how did I make it out of that? And I was like, man, I know there's so many other young people that's going through so much. So I want them
Right.
to know that there's a better way or a way out than the ways that we think uh,
Right.
to come out of the ghetto or out of the hood or whatever situation you're in. So
Mm-hmm.
God placed it on my heart many years ago to write a book. I even reached out to you a few years back, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Hey, Uncle, I want to write a book. Do you got any ideas on how to do that?"
Yeah.
But here's the thing again, like, man, when I say God blessed, so I was writing my book, and then I was like, I need a ghostwriter because like I can't figure out how to put. I got so much I want to say, and I can't say it all.
Right. Right.
So God blessed me to have to sit down in front of a Zoom and speak my words, and someone typed them out for me.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
how the book came about. It was something that God wanted me to do, and that I always wanted to do. But it's all about His timing. You know what I
Uh,
mean? So now is the time for the book.
man, that's great. I was looking at something here. Let me see, because you sent me a little snippet of it, man. I ain't like it, man. Young lady, this cat here, man, he just teasing me with this little bit here. instead of
Oh, you talking about like the acknowledgement? You talking about a couple weeks back?
preface, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just read a little bit of it, man. I'm gonna read one paragraph from it. It says, "You see me in a double-breasted chef coat, knives gleaming, and confident smile on my face, and you might think this chef's life must be a breeze. The world has a way of simplifying the stories of public figures. It paints us as overnight successes, as if our dreams were fulfilled effortlessly, as if we would never tasted the bitterness of failure or stumbled along the way. But let me assure you, the road to becoming the chef you know today was anything but smooth. It was a journey carved through trials, seasons with setbacks, and marinated with resilience." Man, I'm gonna stop right there, because if y'all want to hear the rest of it, read the rest of it, y'all need to go ahead on and get this book, bro. You gotta how to get the book, man.
Wow.
Is it out yet?
No.
Is it out yet?
So I have a conference call with my editor, my web designer, and my social media manager tomorrow.
Okay.
And we're gonna put everything out there. Tomorrow, I'll have all the answers on when the book will be for sale. So y'all just stay tuned. Give me a couple of days. But it's finished. Like, we just put the final touches on everything. So.
Okay. And your Facebook page. What's your Facebook page?
Right now, I'm just doing the Gerard Wiltshire on Facebook.
Okay, Gerard Wiltshire. His name.
Yes.
I see his name there. So go to Gerard Wiltshire and befriend him on Facebook. That way you can follow him. Also, he better let us know so that we can definitely support and promote what he's doing. It's great, man. It is great. I really love that. So let me ask you this: how were you able to balance fatherhood and pursue your dreams at the same time? How many children do you have right now? Because I think in the process, since we last had spoken, your son had come to live with you, right?
Yes. My oldest son lives with me. He works for me at the restaurant, and he works for me for my catering company. So yes, my oldest son lives with me.
How old is
I have 5 kids. I have Victoria. She's 23. She lives in Dubai. She's like a chip off the old block. She has her own film company. She doesn't work for anybody. She's doing her thing up there in Dubai. Then there's CJ, who works with me now. And then there's Leon. He works with me now. He just started working with me. Then I got Denilah and Matthias. They're 12 and 10 years old. So 5.
Okay. So how do you balance that, man?
Man,
how do you balance that?
It's really hard because I'm so active and I feel like I want to be there for every moment. So what they're a little bit older now. The youngest is 10. So the balance is me explaining to them what kind of week I'm gonna have. Like, hey, this week I'm gonna be home late. I won't be able to, tuck y'all in, but when I come home, I'm gonna kiss y'all on the forehead. Or hey, the next week I get to come home when y'all get off the school bus, and we gonna be able to do this. So I balance it like any other relationship with communication. And but sometimes I feel like even when I'm explaining to them like my weeks, I feel like I'm neglecting them and I'm a bad dad. But they assure me that, oh, Dad, it's okay. There's days where I'll come home and they'll clean up the room or prepare me dinner, or say we ordered something and left it for you. So that just reassures me, like, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. But it's a struggle though, for me anyway.
But you make sure that you communicate with them. You make sure that you do make time for them. You incorporate them. Now, because the reason I asked that question, because I know of a lot of men that they have children and they struggle with it, or they claim that, as you did say, it's hard, but you have to make some form of effort behind it,
and
even
sacrifice.
if you got to tweak and sacrifice. That's it. So so you got them working with you. They're engaged with you. What do they have any future aspirations?
My oldest son, he wants to be a gamer.
Okay.
That's his future aspirations. But I told him that he has to do something to support that dream. Like, it just ain't gonna happen. So it costs money to do what he wants to do. And I'm not gonna give him the money. So you have to do something to support that. Like, so that's what he wants to do. Leon, I'm not sure yet. He's getting ready to be a senior in high school, so he's a little bit all over the place. Victoria's already she's done. She's doing it. You know, she has her own company.
Right.
And my two youngest, Denila and Matthias, Matthias says he wants to be a barber, so I have to hook him up with the guy who cuts my hair all the time.
Okay.
I
Okay.
told him he got to start
Okay.
off sweeping the hair off. That's the first job. You got to start sweeping the floor. And then
Right.
Victoria, she's a artist. Like she's very, and she's into fashion. She loves to draw. Now they all like to cook. I don't want to say love yet, because
Okay.
there's times when they want to, and then there's times when they're not.
Right.
So
Right.
let's say I
Right.
get in from the restaurant and I'm making spaghetti. They'll be like, "Dad, can I make it with you?" Because I don't want to force it on them, you know. So they all have their different
Good.
aspirations and stuff like that.
Do they take the aspiration they have from you, their father? Do they see your struggles at the same time, your passion to accomplish what you desire to accomplish for yourself as far as your goals?
That's a great question. Yes. I mean, they were part of the whole growth and experience that I've been through. So when I was telling you that I had to cook for all those people out of my house, they didn't know what they could and couldn't eat out of the refrigerator. So they'll open the refrigerator and be like, this don't make no sense. And then close the refrigerator, you know. But they've also seen me tired and barely could walk. And then they'll come, man, my kids are amazing. Like,
Right.
I don't even have to say how I'm feeling. It's like they just know. They'll come
They just
massage
know.
my shoulders or massage my
Okay.
hands or come hug me and tell me they love me and tell me that they see that I'm working hard. And then that right there, it's like it's like Popeye, like I'm eating my
Mm.
spinach. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they just gave me some more strength to just
Right.
to go on. And it'd be sometimes that I would tell them that I was going to take them somewhere, and I would come home tired, and I'd be getting ready to go, and you know I'm tired. They'd be like, "Dad, you tired?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Okay, it's okay. We'll do it next week, Dad. We know you're tired." I was like, "No, I told you I was gonna take you. I'm gonna take you." It's like, "No, Dad. Like it's okay. We'll do it next week." I'm like, "Y'all sure? Because tell me one more time. We can go."
But it seems though that number one, you went out of your way to make sure that you uh, uh, have the relationship with your children, and you were able to establish that through communication, and you were able to establish that through at times making the sacrifices that you need to make to be there for them, to let them know that you're not neglecting them in any shape, form, or fashion. But now I have a question that I want to ask.
Okay.
This, because I know at times that this factor can be an issue. How did you end up with your children? How did your children end up with you and not with their mother?
Well, they spend time with her now, but it was a really crazy, messy divorce, and the judge made a decision, and I wasn't expecting the
Mhm,
decision. I started out with the thing just trying to be with them on my day off,
mhm.
and I ended up having them most of the time. So that's how God works. It was times where I felt like I was losing the battle, but at the end, you know, I triumphed. God was all over it. But now they spend time with mom, so
Okay.
that's not an issue anymore. But yeah,
Does
man,
it?
it was just the grace of God. It started out with me just trying to spend time on my day off to me having them all the time. So
So is there a significant other in your life now?
yeah, I'm seeing somebody right now.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I guess that does help balance it out though, right?
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does. And she's good with the
Okay.
kids and they love her, so it's all good, man. It's all
Mhm.
good.
Right, right. So let me ask you a question. Let me get let's go. Let's see if we can go a little deeper. And I want to know. Tell us this, okay? What advice would you give to other men who may find themselves, at the same crossroad, let's say of despair in their life? What would you say to a man that seems to, he knows what he wants out of life, but every time he takes a step, he seems to get knocked down, knocked down, knocked down, trampled on. What would you say to him? that would give him what he needs in order to go to the next level?
Oh man, because that's my story. It seems like every time you take 2 steps forward, you get pushed back 10 steps, and you looking up where you was and where you are now, and you're further away from where you started. Advice, man, you really have to like go deep into yourself and your relationship with God and be like, is this, first of all, it has to, if it's not what you want to do, if there's not a burning desire for that, for what you want to do, it's easy to like to quit, you know. But if it's something you want to do and it's something you want, I just tell them you gotta fight for it. Like nothing's comes easy. If it came easy, everyone would have it, right? So you have to fight for it. And what kept me going is that for things to keep happening to me, for me to be able to overcome something, that means God trusts that I can get through it. Like if God put it in front of me, obviously I can go through it. And that is kind of what like I made it like a fight or not even like a game, but like a challenge. Like, okay, this is in front of me. I'm gonna knock this down. And then whatever comes next, I'm gonna knock that down. Now I might get knocked back, but I'm not gonna get knocked down. And it's really hard. It's really, really hard. But you have to, like I said earlier, believe in yourself, like crazy believe in yourself. Like no matter what the circumstances are going on around you, you have to know that you know that you know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing or this is what I want. And then you go for it. Don't let nothing stop you from going after what you want.
Proverbs 24:16 says that for a just man falls 7 times and he rises up again.
Yes, sir.
So you just got to keep getting back up.
You just got to keep getting back up.
And you got to trust God.
And you got to trust God 100%. It don't work without the trust because easily you could be your focus could be your focus could be shifted to something else, but you have to have that laser tag focus on what it is that you want. And like I said, no matter what's going on to the left or to the right, just keep your eye on the sparrow, on your goal, and just keep on. It's not gonna be easy. You just gotta keep fighting for it.
And it may not come when you want it to.
It ain't gonna come when you want it, because you want it right now. But I've learned that, here's the thing, I've learned that God is not gonna show you like the how to maneuver through it, because if he did, you will see some stuff that you're gonna be like, I gotta go through that. I gotta go through that.
Right.
Now, I don't want it no more.
Preach, bro.
You know what I mean?
You preaching again, man. You preaching again.
So if he told you how he was gonna sing you through that thing, none of us would do it because we don't think we have the strength to go through it. So just go for that goal and you're gonna get there, man. You're gonna get there.
So describe what your relationship is like with your father, man.
Man. So right now my dad he's older. His health is declining. So we talk all the time. We are really, really close right now. I talk to him. I should talk to him more, but at least once a week. So we have a really good relationship. We've always had somewhat of a relationship, but there was times when he was strung out on drugs that the drugs like overcame everything else, And I understand that as an older man, but when I was young, there was really not a relationship. It was somewhat like I would go see him when I could type thing. But now, I mean, all of his kids are grown. We love our dad. I tell him all the time that my work ethic came from him. My dad worked hard. My dad worked multiple jobs as far back as I can remember. Even when he was on the drugs, he always worked. When he retired, he continued to like cut yards and do things like that. So my dad is a real hard worker. I got my work ethic for him, so I thank him for that. But he's just the coolest cat in the world, Like I never really seen him get upset. And I love my pops, I love him to death. So right now we're in a good place.
You said that you didn't not at one time you didn't have a good relationship, but now that you do, uh, how were you able to come about that?
Well, we just talk, sometimes we hold stuff in and the other person might not know how much what they done, how it affected you.
Right.
So you got to be able to be an adult, a man, and have those hard man conversations.
Good.
And
Good.
I've had conversations with him on how the choices that him and my mom made
Mhm.
affected me
Right.
even up to this day. Like I'll give you an example. Like when I'm at home, I always got to have a light on somewhere. And I
Mhm.
realized that because I used to sleep in the dark so much because we had no electricity, we just had candles burning. That I feel like, I'm grown now, so there's my lights will never get cut off. So I just always have to have a light on. And that's
Mhm.
because as a child, like I said, like we didn't have electricity or anything like that. So that
Right.
affected me. And I'm 46 years old and I can't sleep with a light not being on because, it
Wow.
reminds me, darkness takes me there. Like, let's say the power goes out and it's dark in my
Mhm.
house, like
Mhm.
from a storm, I immediately go to that place where I was a little boy and there's no power and I don't like that. So, but I talked to my dad about how that affected me and, he apologized and said he made some decisions that he shouldn't have made and we got past it. So.
What would you say was the one lesson though that you've learned from him?
Hmm. He always says that, like like if I'm going through something that's like hurting me, he'll tell me keep living. And what he's telling me is like this too shall pass. Um he's older, so if he goes through like, health issues or something like that, or we could be joking about man things, and I'd be like, oh, that ain't never happened to me. That won't never happen to me. He'll say it again. Just keep living. So I say that I learned the one lesson I take from my dad is nothing will always stay the same. Like if you
Right.
keep living, like things keeps going on. So it has a positive, I'm gonna say a negative, but it has a positive uh part of my life. It makes me know that, you know, sunshine is after the rain,
Right.
like you might be, because when I was going through the divorce, I talked to him a lot and he kind of got me through it. And it
Mhm.
was unexpected that I would talk to my dad about this stuff. But he was
Right.
like, son, it's okay. I know how you feeling. Just keep living. It's gonna be all right. We
Mhm.
all go through things. So he's a really positive speaking person and he speaks life into me a lot. So
And
just
that's
keep
great.
living.
Right. Right. So, one more question. Again, going back, you as a father yourself, what is the one concept that you strive to instill in your children?
Hmm. Wow. Man, there's a lot. First of all, we all pray together every night. And I instilled in them that, that God is the center of all this. Like this
Wow.
nothing just happens, you know. And we take turn praying. Like, one night CJ will lead us in prayer. One night Denala will lead us in prayer. Like we get together in the hallway and we pray every night. So God is the center of all our lives. That's the one thing.
Right.
Another thing is that nothing in life comes easy. Like,
Mhm.
you know, if you want something, you go get it, and no matter what nobody say, like if that's what you want in life, you have goals, aspirations, you go for it. And I'm a living example of that. Like, you see me, and I'm chasing, and I'm doing this to leave a legacy for y'all.
There you
Like
go.
this ain't for me. I
Right.
can go somewhere and make $300,000 a year, 5 days a week, and 2 days put my feet up. But I'm trying to leave something for y'all. You know. So God is the center of my life, and if there's something that you want, go after it with everything you got, and don't let nobody stop you from that.
Man, beautifully said, man. Hey, y'all, the one and only Mr. Gerard Wiltshire, Master Chef himself and author. Y'all have no. How did you come up with that title, man? Y'all have no idea. How did you
God,
come up
all
with
right.
that
So
title?
here's the thing, right? First it was greater it was greater. Then it was greater is he. And I was like, I don't want to sound too churchy because I want everybody to buy the book. Ain't gonna be too churchy, but you know, but I was like, man, what can I call this book? And every time that I'm talking to someone about what it takes, not my life, but what it takes to get a plate to the table, I always say, y'all have no idea. And then I thought, like, I was going through my records and I saw this Tupac album. And one of my favorite Tupac albums is All Eyes on Me. And I was like, look how simple that is, you know? And I say that album sold so many records. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the y'all have no idea. And people was like, that's what you're gonna name the book? I was like, show is.
I like it. I like it. Man. I like
so,
it.
Yeah, that's how I came up with it.
Yeah.
A little bit of Tupac and a little bit of me.
Yeah. So y'all stay tuned. He's going to get all the information, everything as to when the book is going to go on sale. Also, if you do want to follow him, you can follow and have Gerard Welcher on his Facebook page. All right. So go check him out over there. You know, I'm plugging his. I'm going to plug this book as well. I'm going to plug some other books on here because I'm just like to want to do that.
Yes.
Hey, again, go check out my book, Learning the Man Within. This book here is a book that I dedicated to my father, of course. And I'm just sharing information from my childhood to my adulthood, all the ups and downs, the lessons that my father was trying to tell my hard head behind, and I didn't want to hear, I didn't want to listen, you know, and it's not until I get of age that the light finally goes on. Oh, that's what you tried to tell me, man, you know? Yeah, but hey, check that out. Again, you can go to our website, fathersnote.com, and you can purchase the book there. Also, you can see any past videos or episodes that we've had here on the Father's Note. You can go there and check them out there as well, fathersnote.com. Hey, listen, Mr. Chef, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to spend this evening with the man. You know what? I got so much mad love for you, man. I got to make my way, my wife and I can't leave the wife out.
Right.
We got to make our way up there to Tennessee, man, to check out the Butterfly Garden. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You hear all this faith in God that I'm talking right now? Like,
yes,
how I live my life,
yes,
and
sir.
Hearing the voice of God.
Yes, sir.
You know where that came from? You can put that picture back up of your book. Put that picture back up. See that man in the background right there? Not you, but the second one.
Yeah.
That's where it come from. That's my foundation right there.
Hey, listen, bro. Let me tell you, nephew. I started the book out, the first chapter, I started out with him. The last chapter, I ended with him. Why? Because out of all that I went through, all I had to do was just stick with God.
Yes, sir.
Just stick with God and have faith and be consistent with it. Stick with God.
Yes, sir.
It will work out all right. Work out.
You know that I say that in my YouTube videos. You know, always keep God first in your life, and everything will fall into place.
There you go.
Yeah, he's the author.
There you go. Hey, man, much love for you, man. Give my love to your family, to your children and everything. And listen, man, we'll be talking in the future, okay?
All right, love you too.
All right. Hey, everybody, God bless you all. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's podcast. Never stop believing. Never stop believing. We hope that you enjoyed that interview. I know I did. Always did. I love having conversations with this young man. He's a great inspiration to me. Hey, we won't be on next week because I be out of town. But we might do a little something special on another night through the week. So just look forward to it, okay? But until then, hey, much love to you, and we're going to continue to promote our fathers through building our men. God bless y'all. Have a good night. Great night.